know, for more than a decade now, two names have dominated football, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. But now the torch seems to be being passed to a pair of electrifying young stars that have taken the game by storm, Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. That is what we're going to talk next at the demo pitch. Let me hand you over to Peter Schmeichel.
Thank you very much, Kate. A lot have been talked about in the last couple of weeks about Kylian Mbappe. He's unhappy, he wants to leave the club. He's also been asked to play in a position that he doesn't like, a number 9. Just before we show that position, what is a number 9? We talk about numbers. What is a number 9's position?
Well, it depends. I grew up playing in a 4-4-2, so you were playing off a 9. This is what Mbappe referred when he said that in the national team he plays in a different way because he played off Giroud the last 2 games. And in Paris Saint-Germain he plays as the lone striker. And he doesn't really like it because he's not comfortable. He doesn't know how to hold the ball back to goal. This is why more often than not you see him going on the wing and vacating that spot to make sure that he knows there's nobody's going to come here and he sees the game, so he's a bit less scared and a bit more confident to get the ball. But a 9, at one point, you need to hold that ball for your team. You need to hold that ball, lick up play, ball in the air, you need to flick it. I didn't like it, but at one point when I arrived in England, I understood I had to deal with it because, as you know, in my time, you could kick people. And so you need to protect yourself. And I will try to explain to you exactly what it doesn't like. So for example, if you get the ball, Mbappe will always ask the ball square. So if you get the ball and you allow that defender to take a run and have force on you, he will eventually smash you. So what I used to do, there's no rule that said you have to stay in front of the defender. I always go in offside position. So it's not comfortable suddenly. Then I will appear. Surprised when I appear, I go straight into his body.
You beat on the weight, sir.
And then, while you're holding the player here, you feel ways. If he gives you this, you roll here. If he doesn't give you this, you put your leg and you go. It's in bracket, pretty simple. Those are the stuff that he still didn't master. But also, he never really played as a lone striker, as a 9. Those are the little things that he needs to put in his game. That's why he doesn't like to play in the middle.
He can convert into that. Do you think he can be a good number 9?
What he needs to play there, get kicked, and understand what he needs to do not to get kicked. This is what happened to me. You know, having Martin Keown in training, having the guy that played in the Premier League, or the Premiership in my time, and Premier League after, where they could elbow you, they could kick you. You need to find a way yourself to be able to not get kicked. And that was my way. Everybody can have their own way. You can also drop and spin to not stay here. But at times, you need to be able, and if you control the ball like this, you're dead. If you're 3/4 here, holding, then he's at your mercy.
You started to go like this, like against Man United. Do you remember
well, against
that one?
Man United, Dennis Irwin, same thing. I appeared in front of him, I came, I blocked. Then after he's you in your execution.
Recreate it? Can you do this?
You are going to pull my hamstring. I'm going to pull my hamstring.
He's going to play the pass, just a little bit.
I will do the pass.
Come on, TT.
All right.
No, but stay here.
Yeah,
Why you already?
Okay.
Hey, but the pass has to be good.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh!
Stupid.
A lot of questions about Mbappe, none about Thierry Henry, and absolutely nothing about Haaland.
Wait, we have another defender to defend Haaland.
Let me bring somebody in. Oh my God.
I'm back.
We needed a defender for Haaland.
Yeah.
Well, we needed 2 defenders.
No, we needed a real one. A real one. So what are we talking about, Haaland?
Yes.
Well, I know what you're going to say. The only way to stop Haaland is to kick him, and you're an expert.
Well, that's what I used to try with this fella. Never used to work with Thierry Henry. And I think we are talking about someone on this man's level could actually go up against you in terms of maybe the best player we've ever seen in the Premier League in a few years, I should say. But in terms of coming up against Erling Haaland, I think of similar strikers, and Thierry was one, and maybe a Didier Drogba at Chelsea, that real physicality, used to use his body. And actually how I used to deal with him, not always successfully, I should add, but I just think when my size, I can't cope physically with Thierry or Didier Drogba or Erling Haaland. So how do you overcome that as a defender? And the big thing for me, we think of defenders as being aggressive, tight. I actually think go the opposite way and almost don't get in a fight with them and don't almost try and use your strength because you're going to get outpowered. So we could have an example if Thierry backs into me and you roll the ball in, Peter.
I will do that. I've actually done really well with this today.
So these type of situations, I think it's a mistake to be here
Big mistake.
Big mistake, especially against players.
No, it's true, because I roll.
Because I can't cope physically. Now, Micah, I think if Micah, you come in here and you were against Thierry or Erling Haaland,
yes,
you are stronger than him or as strong. I think that's the right thing to do for you.
Of course, yeah. Whoa!
But I think when you're coming against these players who are so good, as I said, physically, Thierry, you come back in. When this ball's coming, I always think you need to be at arm's length. And okay, I'm happy if he just passes that ball back. The only chance I have, if Thierry or an Erling Haaland turns facing me now.
Straight in, yes.
There. So it's actually a challenge rather than trying to use my physicality or my body, because I can't cope. And I just think defenders now who are seeing the Premier League have got to learn that you can't cope with Erling Haaland physically. You've got to think of different ways. And also, it's not a one-man job. I think you need two players. They're that good.
You need the whole back line.
Of course.
But what about crosses? Because he's been absolutely fantastic on crosses. We've seen him finish in different ways. Yeah. I mean, karate kicks. I mean, how do you defend against him there?
Well, I mean, it's probably a similar thing, but I think in the box, because the ball is so close to the goal, I don't think you can afford to not be really tight and aggressive, because there was the one against Manchester United. I think Martinez was with him in the box, and he just gave him half a yard, and he just puts it in first time. So I think in the box, you can't say, I can't be too tight, I can't be aggressive, because you have to there just to stop the shot, because it'll just go straight into the goal. Yeah. What are you clapping?
It's just finished.
Chelsea, what, we want them to get beat. So I think in the box it's completely different, almost the opposite end of the scale. You've got to be tight and aggressive and do as much as you can.
And stay with him.
You have to.
So on a corner kick, for instance.
Well, that depends on the manager, whether it's zonal marking, man marking. Oh, we saw him against Manchester United.
If you were the manager, you had to line your team up to defend against him. How would you do that on a corner kick, for instance?
Well, I think you'd have someone blocking. You'd have maybe two men marking him. I did that job once against a player for Everton called Duncan Ferguson, who was so big in the air. And would you believe, me and Michael Owen actually both marked him. It was our job. His job was to stand in front, and my job was to go behind. So his job was to stop him running everywhere, moving, and me to try and win the ball. And I think, again, like I said, in general play, it could be a two-man job, and that's what I think it is even on a corner. I think it doesn't have to be the two biggest players, but one player to stop and move and another one to try and go and win the ball.
Well, it was a fantastic entrance you made here, but
I always do.
Let me hand it back to the real star of the show, Kate.
Thank you very much, Peter. Very kind.